Okay. Now, let's see. Sorry about that. Okay, am I live here? Hopefully. Okay. There we go. Okay, I am back. Hopefully everyone can see this now. My power went out in my art studio, which kind of sucks. So hopefully it's working again. Alright. So anyway, I'm going to figure out the two colors that I need to do this and go from there. Let's see how this is working here. If it's yeah, I'm just trying to make sure. It died, that's why. The power went out down here. So I just restarted it right now. I'm on live right now. So, okay. Alright, so just trying to see here how we're going. Alright. This sucks. Okay, here we go. So, I'm live again. Alright. Anyway, just going to be live for a few minutes. I just want to, as I was explaining before in the last video, before it shut off, I just want to finish the base coat on this. So I'm just going to quickly airbrush a couple more colors in here. Probably a couple of light colors here. I like that one, but it's a little too dark. I like to use, show you a couple paints I use. Let's get that right in there. Hopefully, I don't know if it'll zoom up or not. Of course not. No. Oh, I had it for a minute there. Anyway, Tamiya. Love my Tamiya paints. Great. Use them all the time. I guess you can see them pretty clear in the background anyway. Another paint line that I've been loving lately is Golden High Flow. These are great. I've been getting into these now for about the last year. They're awesome. And then I use also the other Goldens. This is fluid acrylic, so they're not as thin, obviously, as the High Flow. High Flow you can pretty much put in an airbrush. This you still have to thin out. So I use my real messy bottle of airbrush medium for that. So that's what I like to do there. So my airbrush is already going in the background. So I'm just gonna quickly shoot maybe one or two colors on this quickly, and then I'll end it there. That's too dark. So I gotta go through the colors that I like. I think I like this one here. I'm gonna see if I have two of them. So yeah, there's a good color. So I'm gonna use this Tamiya wooden deck tan color. This is a great color. I love this one. So, because I just want to add some contrast, because if you look, I already showed this, but I'll bring it up again. It's got a lot of greenish white in it, or greenish gray. Just very light colors, because I'm actually trying to do the whole Dinosaur Revolution theme. I know you're probably like, well, how is this going to turn into like white and black? But you'll see in the end. Spin it around this way, you can see maybe some more contrast in the color. I was doing some tests at the top with a little bit of grays and stuff and pebbled looks, just kind of testing. I'll go over it again as I go along. That's the cool thing about airbrushing. You can just go over it again. Actually, and while I'm doing it, I'm going to quickly use this color and lighten up this base a little bit. Just a little too dark, so. This paint hasn't been used in a little while, so I got this little paint mixer from Badger. Thing works great. Stick it in. Mix it up. Now it's kind of a mess, so I got my cup right here. Turn it on in my water cup. Water's a little nasty right now, so trying to see if I can see when people are commenting. It's not really showing me, unfortunately, so sorry about that if I can't see. I can't see what's going on. So anyway, I'm going to plug in, my airbrush is going now. I'm just going to use this airbrush for the cheap one, and then I'll do another, once I get into the details on this, maybe tomorrow or the next day, I'll use my Sotar, because like I was mentioning in the last video, I want to do like a nice video review of the Sotar 2020. I love that airbrush. I think Badger makes a great brush. So now I think this paint is probably just a tad too thick. So I got these ketchup cups. I actually learned this thing about the ketchup cups from watching a Casey Love video on the Stan Winston School of Character Arts, which if you ever need to learn something, that's the place to go. It's a great website. Tons and tons of good stuff to learn. So the thing I'll explain as you're kind of going along, you always get new ideas. So I'm just looking up there, and I noticed this is deck tan, the other one's wooden deck tan. So I'm actually going to do both of those on here, just to kind of add more. Just do a basic modeling effect. So I'm just going to use my X20A just to thin it down. Don't need much. This isn't really a how to airbrush video in itself, so I'm sure most of you know about the whole consistency of milk thing, where your airbrush paint has to be the consistency of milk. Still a little thick. So we're going to add a little bit more. And you can also use Tamiya's lacquer thinner in it if you want. Sometimes that actually works a little better. So we're going to get that going. I think that looks good, so I'm going to dump that in here. I always test it. Usually I use my hand, which is kind of silly, but maybe we'll use the back of this Allosaurus page and just So there we go. See those little tiny lines? Just to make sure I can blast it out bigger too if I want. It's actually always a good idea to test your airbrush before you use it. So that's definitely a good thing to do. So we're gonna again, shouldn't be using my hand, so I'm gonna turn the dial here at the back to kind of set it so I don't pull all the way back. And a little bit more, and I think we're ready to rock. So now again, it's not showing me comments, and I'm not sure why. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now I'm in the... Oop. Okay, good. So now I got it set so I can see comments. Finally figured it out. Alright, so I'm going to start airbrushing. I think next time I'm going to have to do something with my my camera setup itself and get it. There we go. Let's get it set up a little bit better here. So, alright. So what I'm basically doing right now is just a quick effect here. Just to add some more. See, and I just want to swiggle it around. See, just basic squiggly modeling effect. I like that whole look. You know, just if you do this with like 5 or 6 colors, you know, it adds like it adds a lot of depth to it. So get it up there. Go up in the neck. And the thing is too, if you do it from, you know, different angles and different height and stuff, you can achieve a lot finer lines and a lot bolder lines. And then like this is just kind of fading in, right? So I actually don't want very much of this color at all. I just want to kind of add a little bit, blend it in. Kind of very random here. Get it all the way down. Now, you can kind of see that it's just kind of blending in, just kind of mixing in a little bit. So I'll tell you one thing, I'd love to see a lot more videos like this on YouTube and Facebook of people painting dinosaurs. I've seen some pretty amazing work. You know, you look on Facebook every day and see paint jobs, and some of it's just like mind-blowing, you know. Just crazy work by people. So awesome. Alright. So, I'm going to get a little bit on the fronts here. Get a little start doing this side. This side I'll start over on the legs. So there we go. Get inside this leg here. The other side, just there we go. Before I switch to the other side, I want to get around some spots where I missed here. Come over to the back of the leg here. Alright. Just go with it a little bit more and a little bit more in on this side before I'm done. Just kind of see any spots where I missed. I like that actually. It's added a little more detail. Don't want to go too crazy. I'm going to get in the inside of the legs. I'm still on this first side here. Oh. I'll tell you one thing, an airbrush just makes a makes a paint job so much better. Just because it's so subtle, it looks so great. It's beautiful stuff. So hopefully everyone can see this really well. Sorry, I've kind of got my camera on a bad angle here. I am still new to this whole live video thing, so I think for next time I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to set the camera up on the tripod again and kind of put it over the shoulder so you can get really close to this. Again, please let me know if the air compressor is too loud, because I really don't want it to be so loud you guys can't hear me talking. So this little thing here is this is the inside of an old broken microwave, and this thing works good. You don't even need the roller part or anything. It just kind of sits up, spins perfectly. I can put paints on this thing, works great. It's like totally amazing. So let's get right in here, and color is I'm actually pretty proud of this Shunosaurus. He's my first molding and casting. So, I mean, you can see the imperfections. There's definitely some bubbles in this guy. Now the rest of them, I've actually made 4 other castings, which I'm going to put up for sale as soon as this guy's painted and some nice photos are taken of him. So hopefully, like I said, by the end of this week I'll be able to get this guy going. So I believe he's going to be $199 USD plus shipping, so which is pretty decent for a huge model, you know. So, but we'll advertise all that with a nice high quality picture for sure. I think that's looking good. I don't really want too much of it. Yeah, so I like that. So it's added a little bit of color. So that's good. Oh, good. Thanks, buddy, for letting me know the volume's good. I know that the last one I did, I was trying to show you guys my studio and stuff, and the volume wasn't even working, and I had no idea. So that's good to know. I hate when that volume stuff happens. Computers can be very finicky, you know. They kind of have a mind of their own. So I think that's good, really. I don't want to do too much more. What I am going to do quickly is I'm going to move them, see how this paint dries like pretty much instantly. I just want to hit this base in a few spots with some light tones. Quickly I'll pick this up. This is actually just made from styrofoam. It was originally glued to a piece of foam core, and then this was plaster, and then obviously some tree branches and some plaster rocks. I made it out of rock molds. So yeah, that's what I cast this in resin. So I actually have when you get this model, it'll come with this base. Just want to hit some of these spots here. I got a little work to do to clean this up, actually. So there we go. There we go. Anybody's watching, feel free to ask me any questions. I might not see them right away because I am painting, but I'll try to get to them. I probably won't do this video for too much longer because I only have to spray a little bit more on the Shunosaurus, and then I got to seal it, which kind of smells smells pretty bad, so I can't really stay in the room once I spray it. So yeah, so that's fine, that's dry. So now I just got to clean this color out of the airbrush. Oh, are you going to sell completed kits as well? I do that for sure, yes. I have one guy who usually buys the because he just likes to get them done, so he buys them off me completed. So yes, I definitely do that for sure. So yeah, I'm willing to do anything. I don't mind it. If somebody wants to paint it themselves, that's fine. If somebody wants it painted, then you know, I'm always down with doing that for people. Or if they want to have it sent to somebody else that they like, whoever they like to paint their stuff. I know there's some pretty amazing painters out there. Phenomenal guys, far better than the stuff that I do. That's why I love seeing their work. You know, always trying to learn new things. So now, because I'm just going to spray another color and it doesn't matter, too much of it blends in, I'm not like doing a thorough cleanup of my airbrush, and I probably won't do that until after the video's done. So I'm just trying to get it basically clean. I don't know if you can see, there's still a little bit of, it's pretty hard to, there we go. Yeah, it's not gonna be, you can see there's a little bit, but it's mostly clean. So, and then if you look, I got these little spots in there where I can hang my airbrush. So now I've got some paint left. You can see in the cup. So what I do, you know, you don't want to waste any of that. So because I didn't mix any other colors into it, I'm just gonna pour it back where it goes. Get that in there. That's fine. This cup, because I probably won't use it again, I'll just toss it out. I try to save them, you know, most times. But for that, we're just going to get rid of it. Then we're going to switch over to this normal deck tan, which is a nice, it's a little more gray in it, which I like. And oh, there we go. Now, one thing I forgot to do is to wipe off my paint mixer. You don't want to mix other paints in there. We're gonna I'm sure everyone can hear that. And this one's already been mixed. I've used this one before. It's already been mixed with thinner, so it's good to go right out. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm not even going to use as much as I did, and I have these handy things somewhere around. These aren't the ones, I don't know where they are, but I'll show you anyway. This is also a good thing to do if you just want to use a few drops. That paint in there shouldn't come out. I think I rinsed these out to the best of my ability. So let's hope, because you don't want to clog your airbrush with anything. So I'm just going to stick it right in, pull some out. Couple drops. Probably didn't even need to do as much as I did. Squirt it a few times in the water, clean it up. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll talk about that again. Yeah, I was filming and then it shut off, but I'll explain this again. So the airbrush I'm using now is just a Chinese knockoff airbrush. It came with this compressor. I'll see if I can pull it out a little bit. Just a basic. I actually bought it off eBay. The guy was actually fairly local selling it, and it came with this airbrush and two other airbrushes. Actually, it was a good deal, like I think it was like 130 Canadian dollars, which is pretty cheap actually. So yeah, it's a good deal now, and it works good for this kind of stuff, and it'll do thin lines like I was showing before or maybe I showed it on this video. It'll do good lines, but if you want to, you should always invest in something good. So again, I'll show this. This is my Sotar 2020 from Badger. Amazing, amazing, amazing. It does like pin line work. I'm actually going to do a video review of it. I've had it for a long time, but I just had it sent in because the Teflon seal finally wore out on it, so I just had it sent in, and Badger was great, fixed it, did some extra things. It was awesome what they did. So now it's like brand new. I just got it back. That's why I'm not even using it for this, because I didn't want to even touch it again until I do a video review. So that's what I'm going to do, hopefully within the next week. Actually, what I'll probably do, because this video is going to end here in about the next 10 minutes or so, I'm just going to bust this out. Then I'm going to get this sealed where it's at. Then when I do the next video, I'll glaze. I'll do the glaze while it's drying. I'll maybe sculpt a little bit more in the Allosaurus. Then I'll come back and I'll show you guys some work with the Sotar. Alright, so again, I'm just testing kind of while I'm talking. I always do it on my hand, which is ridiculous, and then my hand's filthy. So this is not blowing out the other color yet. There we go. Okay, so now I've got this switch to the other color. That's the thing when you don't take the time to thoroughly clean it out, then it's not, you're going to get the old color for a little while. So now it's switched, so now I'm going to grab this up again. Same thing. I'm going to spray. Same thing. And it's not spraying quite enough, so I'm going to turn it out a little bit. Another thing I'll show you quick is on here, you can adjust your air right here, which is really nice because when you want to get down a little bit to a little bit lower spot, you know, you want to get down to pin lines and stuff, you need less air, so it's nice to be able to turn it down instead of having to reach over and mess with the big dial. So anyway, we got that set now. There we go. And you can see, and this is the thing I love about these paints. The Tamiya mostly, but you can do this with any paints too. I also learned this from Casey Love's video, The Stan Winston School, about the mixing paint with the alcohol, so it dries like almost instantly. So you can just keep going, which is great. Unfortunately, unless you have like studio equipment, it's hard to tell all the detailed work that's going in. You can't really see it too well, but at least you can kind of see the you can kind of see a little bit of what's going on, you know, and you get to see what my hands are doing, right? So that's a good thing. You get to see the process, even though it's hard to see unless we had good studio cameras. And see, this is super fast. And just one more little bit. All right, let's get in the other side here. Front leg. All right, then we're gonna flip it around. Do this side now. I remember when I first started airbrushing, I bought the old Pash brush back in about 96, 97. Bought one of these. Everybody's familiar with those, single action Pash airbrush. I thought the way to paint was to just fill it up and just, and the thing would be soaked. It was so bad. And man, it was crazy. So I'd say the key to art is patience. You know, if you want to do good art, it's all about patience. You know, to realize that you're probably not going to finish painting a dinosaur in a day. You could, I mean, but it's kind of a get up, walk away, let things dry. And the other thing that I would say is planning. Plan ahead of time, really think. Like, I looked at a lot of pictures of Shunosaurus from Dinosaur Revolution. Kind of figure it out, and I'm not even sure what I'm doing here. And that's the thing too. You start out thinking about the way you're going to do it, and it doesn't always turn out that way. So it kind of evolves as you go along, right? Alright, so I think we got it pretty good here. I'm just gonna hit my get this, a couple nice light spots in here. Add some depth to this. Lighten it up a little bit. So move this dinosaur out of the way for a minute. Spray a little more. That's the nice thing. All these earthy tones work good on the base. And I'll come back and I'll do some gray and black washes on this. That's the nice thing about that. You mix paint with a ton of water and do some serious washes. So, alright. So this is pretty much done. I'm going to try and pour that back in there, get as much of that cleaned out. And then I'm going to explain this process. I'm going to take about 2 minutes and explain what's going to happen between now and the next video. I'm just spraying my airbrush inside. I'll have to do a much more thorough cleaning job than that, but it works good. I would never clean my good airbrush like that, but this actually works not too bad. Scrub it all out. So there we go, get that all cleaned out. I'm gonna have to take this apart. So what I'm gonna do now is just quickly take the end off, grab this, slide this needle out quick, wipe it off, unscrew the end, which is clean, it's fine, so it can sit right there. And then there's a little screwed in tip that you can usually take off with your fingers. Just grab it close. It's filthy. It's got the paint in there. So that's good. So that's sitting in there. And I got a little methyl hydrate in this little squirt bottle, which I'm going to squirt in there. Let it sit there for a couple minutes to clean out. And then again, I'm going to actually, squirt a little bit of it in here. You can see it just pouring out. There we go. So that's good. Oh, I see some people sharing the video. Frederick, thanks buddy. That's awesome. Yeah, I like the concept of doing live videos. You know, you can chat, figure out things. Like, I wish I had had this stuff like 10, 15 years ago, or even 20 when I started sculpting and painting. It would have been so awesome back then. So, alright, this airbrush is almost clean. I got these little tools here, just the tiny ones, just to clean out. Oh. So, quickly make sure. There we go. Just get any extra paint, see it's pushing it back in there. Wipe it out again a little bit. That should be good. So we're going to set that down. Take my needle. Use my needle to try and grab the tip. Yeah, I can't do it. So, grab my hands. And I just go like this with the tip. It's really super fine working with this stuff. I don't even think I can. Yeah, there's no way it's gonna show you. Anyway, that's all clean now. So what I'm gonna do is pick that back up. Try and screw it back in. I wasn't really gonna clean this live, but I figured it doesn't actually take that long. So why not, right? Alright, so I'm gonna slide this in. Oh, there we go. Ooh, it's got a lot of paint still stuck in there. So there's another thing I like to use. This lubricant for the needle. That way if there's stuff stuck in there, it doesn't clog it up or it'll just come out. There we go. It's a lot better anyway. Cleaned up. Slide the tip on. Slide the back end on. Slide over here. Pull this out. Shut it off. Spray it. Nothing's coming out. Nice and clean. We're gonna hang it up. Push it back. And that's it for now. So, quick explanation before I go. I'll set him back up and I'll do this explanation for a couple minutes. So, next thing I'm going to do, I'll do this later tonight, is I'm going to spray this dinosaur with this stuff. This is Tester's Dull Coat. Don't use the shiny one because dinosaurs probably weren't shiny. But anyway, hit this. And this is most important because I didn't actually do this the first time, and I went to do the glazing technique on the dinosaur, and it was terrible. It actually wiped all the paint off. I did a big wipe, whoosh, just wiped all the paint that I just spent hours painting. So if you get to a point, you know, like after a base coat, you like it, seal it. So that you don't lose it, because if you lose it, that's just that's terrible. So seal it up, and then what we're going to do when we come back, I'll try to do it tomorrow, is once it's sealed, then we're going to use this stuff right here, which is great. This is a Liquitex glazing medium, and we'll put it into one of the ketchup cups. We'll mix it probably with this one. I'm assuming it'll either be like like a burnt or yeah, maybe a burnt umber or raw umber, or maybe a dark gray. And then what you do, you mix it together. It gets it's thick and goopy. You just plaster it on with a brush. It will probably look like crap at first, but then you wait a minute, you wipe it back off, and then it's only stuck in all the skin folds, and it also takes all this modeling effect that you did and just blends it right in, and it looks just great. It's actually really awesome. So that's going to be the next thing I do, but I will do that online. I will try my darndest to do that on Facebook Live so everybody can see it. And then after I do that, then we'll get into adding stripes, spots, maybe some speckled effects, like you know, get into the detail, and then do all the other stuff. But so seal, I'll come back, and do something else, and we'll do the glazing and go from there. So anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will be back soon.